Hello guys, welcome back to Coding with Bobby, and in this video we're gonna make the API calls or write our user actions and reducers. And before starting this, I'll just show you we have already made the backend on Fast API, and I've also hosted it on Render, so that we can just make the API calls on this URL instead of the local host. So we'll just start off our video. Previously we had made some reducers. We have done the setup of store. Now in this one we'll first create our constant.js, and in the constant we'll keep the action.types, like what type of actions can be there. So what all we'll have actions for the user as well and for the post as well. Now we can have login success. Now these are just for the typo. We can even use the string as it is, but just to keep the typo, we don't miss any type. We'll just keep it like that. And we'll have logout success. Then we'll have sign up success. And the last one would be our update profile or update success. Now we can even have for the fail cases, but I won't recommend it or I won't use it as such. Now for making the API calls, we'll need to use our actions. We'll need to create action for every every stuff like sign up, login. So we'll just go here. We'll create one post.js for the post, but in this one we'll be using user.js, and I'll just name it as post. Yeah. So inside the user, what we'll have is first we'll import our login success, log out, sign up, and we'll also have our update. Once this is done, we'll have to create one base URL. Now the base URL is the URL on which we are making the API calls. So we'll just copy it from the Chrome. Yeah, like that. Boom. Yeah, this seems fine. Or we'll just put in v1 as well. We can just make one API call. Maybe for login, I've already created one user, and I'll just try it out. Hey, and the password is string, and this works fine. So this is our curl v1. Yeah. So we'll just go back and we'll just import our base URL here. Yeah, this is done. And we'll also need one use selector. We'll need it somewhere. I'll just import it for now, and let's just get started with our sign up process. So we'll have one function for sign up. Now for this we can even use the slicing concept of reactjs toolkit, but I'll be following the more traditional way as that is more convenient for me. So feel free to use the create slicing part as well. So what I'll do is I'll just take the user, the UI or this homes or the auth screen. We'll create some screens. The sign up screen will send me the user details in this user object. So what I'll do is this is actually Redux Thunk. In Redux Thunk, when we are creating some async thunk function where we are making some asynchronous call, we need to return async function inside of it along with the dispatch. Now Redux Thunk will already know that okay, this is a thunk function which will be delayed, so it will automatically attach that dispatch method to it, so that we can later on, once we get the result, we can dispatch any action with a payload. So this part is going to remain same whenever we are making some asynchronous call, right, in an action. So now what we can do is we can just try and one catch, and we can just do throw error, and inside this what we'll do is const response is going to be await fetch we are going to use, and inside fetch first of all we'll need to give in the URL, base URL. We have already attached v1, and if we can closely see in the sign up, if I just make it out, suppose we have got boy@gmail.com, yo boy, and password is string. Okay, so we have got v1 auth sign up. So v1 is done, auth and sign up, like that. Now inside fetch, now we need to tell what type of a method is it, and the headers and the body. Now headers, we can just give in, we can check from here as well, accept and content type, which is application.json. So we can just give in content type, which is gonna be application slash JSON, and we can also give accept, which is again gonna be application slash JSON, right? And after the headers, we'll move on to the body, and body, this will be coming from my screen when the user will give in the username and password and email. I'll just get it here and we'll just do json.stringify and we'll just send it, yeah, right here. And yeah, so now what we can do is we can just check in, if not response dot okay, then maybe we can throw our error ourselves, throw new error, could not sign up user, right? And then we'll just get the data, await response dot JSON. And once we are done with it, now what we can do is we can dispatch. Now see, the response that we are getting would be a access token and username. So what we'll do is we'll just dispatch, and we'll dispatch one type. Type is gonna be sign up success, and there's gonna be a payload, and payload is going to be again an object, and we'll just send in access token as access token, and we'll also send the username, user.username. Now once this action is made, this action will dispatch this payload, or this action will be dispatched to our reducer. Now in reducer we need to create a type where we'll tell, okay, when the type of the action is sign up process, then we need to deal with the payload, like that. So what we'll do, we'll just go to the users, and here also what now we need to create switch case here, so that for every type of action we have a different case, how we need to update the store. So switch, and this will be action dot type. If we closely see, we're sending a type. Now on the basis of type we are updating the store, right? So it's gonna be case sign up. In case of sign up, we'll just return the state which is there, and we'll update the fields like token. Token is gonna be action dot payload dot token that we are sending over here. Payload has got token, right? And after this we are also updating the username, action dot payload dot username, like that. Yeah, so this is for the sign up. Let's now what we'll do, let's first write the reducers for every case, right? Let's first write for the logout. Yeah, see, for the logout is going to be really simple. Once the user has been logged out, we just need to make every what we say field of this state as to the default one, right? So we'll just pass it like that. Okay, return this. One second. Okay, return, and we'll just make our token. Token is made to the in case of logout, token is made to be null, and then username is also made as null, and then we can make our profile also as null. Okay, yeah. Let me just copy it once more. Yeah, and we'll just remove it for now. Yeah, so like that. Follower count, and yeah, once more, yeah, like that. And once we are done with it, we can create one more case, and the other case would be our login success. Yeah, okay, we've got some error, I guess. Okay, yeah, this one is for, are we closing it? Okay, this is not closed yet. Yeah, so we need to put one more. Yeah, like that. So in case of login, now in login what we are doing, if we just try to log in out here, and let's see what the response we're getting is. In login we are also getting access token and token type, so we'll send the same thing over here, and we'll do the same process as we have done in the sign up, right? Like that. Now once we are done with it, what we can do is we can go over to the update success, and in update success we'll be getting all the fields from the action.payload, and now we need to update the fields that are available to us or keep them. The ones which are already there in the state, we'll keep them as it is. So what we'll do is we'll just return the state, right? And profile, mostly it is for the profile part, right? So what we'll do is name is gonna be action.payload.name, or if action.payload doesn't send me the name, then might be that a name is already there in the state, so we'll update it to state.profile.name. So similarly we need to update each of these fields. Now I won't waste too much of time, I'll just skip this part, I'll pause it and I'll paste it here, and then we'll move on. Okay, so I've skipped that part. Similarly for the name, I've done it for all the profile entities like that. So we are done with our reducers. Now let's move on to again to our actions. Now this time we'll be writing an action for our login. For the sign up we have already done. Now this will be similar. Instead of taking the user body, we'll just take in the username and password. So we'll just do export const login, and which is going to take our username and then password. And then what we can do is we can just again async, and this is going to take a dispatch redux thunk, and now this will be our main function, catch and error, and we can just throw this error as such. And now what we'll do is we'll just take the URL. Now the URL is going to be, first we'll take the base URL, and after that we are going to take auth and token. You can just verify it from the Swagger as well. If you are not interested in making the backend using fast API, you can just copy this, you can just make use of this Swagger. I'll just paste this in the description, right, so that you can directly use it. Now if we see over here, in case of login, in the body we have got something like this, which is grant type is null, username is this, password is this, scope is this. So this is actually part of the body. So now what we'll do, we need to URL encode it, right? So what we'll do, we'll just create one object of grant type. I've just taken these fields from the Swagger itself, grant type like that, and after that I have one username which is coming from my login screen. Login screen will send me directly, and password is also coming from there. Now scope is set to null for now, client ID also set to null, and then we have got some client secret which is also set to null. Now we need to encode it and form a body of it, right? So we have one form body which is going to be array, right? And we'll do for var, which is going to be any variable, and we'll take all the property in details that we have got, and now we'll just check if details dot has own property. Now this will check if these entities are existing or not, right, for this property. Now what we'll do, we'll just URL encode it. So URL encoded key is gonna be our encode URI component, which is gonna be our property here, right? And then we'll have the value, encoded value, which is again gonna be encoded URI, and this way we'll just take in the value of that property like that. Now what we'll do is form body, and now we'll push it as it's an array. We'll just push it, and push it along with it we'll need to take in the equal sign like that. So what we'll do is encoded key, and we'll take plus and then equal and then plus encoded value like that. Now this might seem to be a bit tricky at first, but it is not as such. Now what we'll do is we'll just join this array and we'll make it a string again, right? Because at the end we are sending in the string, not the array, right? So we'll just do form body dot join, and when we are joining it, we'll just join it by end, because if you closely observe here, password is string and scope like that, right? So we're done with the body. Now we can just make our API call as such, the main API call, which is going to be const response await and fetch. And now fetch, we are going to take URL that we have already made. Method is again post. Now headers you can just check from there as well, which is actually application JSON for accept, and for the content type we'll just copy it from there. The content type is application, and form URL encoded. Mostly for the passwords we use this, right? Once we're done with the headers, we'll just move on to the body, which is our form body. Yeah, so we're pretty much done with it, and now we can just check. If not, response dot okay. In that case, we can just throw new error, could not log in user, like that, right? Otherwise what we'll do, we'll just do const data and we'll just await and response.json so that we can fetch it. And in that case, now finally we can just dispatch it as such. Now dispatch is going to be similar to what we did here. Dispatch, we'll just send one object which will take my login success as the type, and payload is going to take token, and token will be coming from our data only, data dot access token. And apart from this, we'll have one username, which is again going to be coming from data.username. We can just check we are getting. Okay, we're not getting. So username, I'll just send in what is coming from the screen as it is, like that. So this way we are able to dispatch our login as well. Now I'll just create one short one for the logout. Now for the logout, we are not making any API call to the backend, as this is only related to our what we say local state. We just need to clear the local state. So what we'll do is, in that case, return async, though we don't even need the async as such, but still, just to maintain the tradition, we'll just keep it as async, and I'll just dispatch, and we'll just give in type, and type is gonna be our logout success, like that. Now we can even give in the try catch block in it. I'll not use it, and we'll just see it inside the logout what we have done. Yeah, so we're not nowhere using the payload, right? So similarly, we're also gonna write for the update profile. Now I'm not gonna waste more time on it. This is going to be similar, so I'll just skip that part. I'll pause it and paste it out here. Yeah, so we have got one function for the update user. Now for the update user, we'll first go to the Swagger, and we can just see update user. Now for the update user, we need username and the token. Now our token is already stored in our state, so we'll get the token from the state, and we'll also get the username from the state, right? State.user, because user has got the token and username, like that. So now we are just making this API call, auth/usernames and then token, auth/username and then token, like that. And the user is going to be a body, like that, and which is we are getting from the screen, profile screen as such when we'll create it. So that we have already made, and the rest is simple as that, right? Now there's one more thing, which is get user. Now get user is if you want to get the profile of the current user. Suppose what we'll do is we'll just copy it out, and we'll just paste it out here. Okay, so now this is what we are getting in the profile of the user. Now we need to write an action for it. So in this also we are getting token from the state. Now this is our URL to fetch the profile of the user, and similar way we are just dispatching the user, right? In the payload we are just sending in the user object. User object is this, and if we just check the update success over here, update success, we are just updating the fields. So I guess this is pretty much for this video. We have made all the API calls related to the user. Now in the next video we'll just make out the login screen and the home screen, then we'll move on to the profile screen. So thank you.